is another company. In fact, the whole logistics stock pack started buzzing at close to 11:30, 12, and now they are in the green. From the frontliners, if you look at most of the stocks, HUL was trading at the high point of the day. Obviously, the largest gainer on the Nifty is Sun Pharma. At the same time, Tata Steel is also seeing a bit of a gain in the last 15 odd minutes. But if you look at the stocks from the broader markets, Mukta, the stock that has surged about 12% on back of announcements coming in from YouTube and the company itself. We are joined by Rahul Puri, who's the managing director of Mukta. Thanks a lot, Rahul, for joining in. First up, could you give us a sense of what exactly are the contours of this deal? What is the financial benefit that the company will get, or the investment that YouTube will make, or you guys will have to make on the back of this deal?
So the contours of the deal are YouTube have a division of the company which is called YouTube Spaces. What YouTube Spaces does is that they run various sort of training and creator platforms for all of their creator community across the world. They have 7 of these spaces across the world, and they're opening it in India. This is the second time, I believe, that they've opened it in partnership with somebody else. Usually they do this on their own, but they saw the huge value of opening a space like this at Whistling Woods, which is why they partnered with us and opened the space here at Whistling Woods. They've opened, I think it's 1,400 square feet space that they've opened up here at Whistling Woods, which has edit facilities, production facilities for specifically for YouTube content to be made and created. And they are inviting all of the top YouTube collaborators and creators from across the country to come here and use the space to make their videos. They're also going to be running
Rahul, will you be putting in any money into this collaboration with YouTube? And secondly, what's the revenue share?
See, it's not a revenue share per se, and I am unfortunately not able to disclose the financial contours of the deal because that's a YouTube thing, it's a Google thing, so I'm not at liberty to talk about that. But Mukta and Whistling Woods don't have to put in any money into this. YouTube has done all of the space fit out, all of the equipment purchasing, it's been done by YouTube. All we've had to do is provide them the space.
Right. So are you getting a fee for YouTube to get to use your space? Is there any rent agreement or something of that sort, if not revenue share?
There is an agreement, but as I said, I'm not at liberty to discuss that. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to help you out on that.
Okay,
but
well,
yes, yes, it is a, in the sense, it's very much a collaboration, it's very much a partnership.
Okay, will YouTube be opening any more production studios, and therefore will you be in the reckoning for Attire?
They won't be opening any more production studios. They have this studio here at Whistling Woods, and the agreement includes a lot of the Whistling Woods space as well as and when they require it. So they're not going to be opening up any further production facilities in Bombay.
All right, Rahul, coming to your other businesses then, the business that the company is focusing on right now clearly is the exhibition business, because in the second quarter itself, we did see a turnaround as far as the operational numbers are concerned. So could you give us a sense of what the number of screens right now stand at? You all were looking to open a lot of screens. What your FY16 end target is in terms of revenue and earnings coming in from the exhibition business?
I think that we've got about 34 screens up and running at this point. Our target is to try and reach the 50 number by the end of the financial year. We've got screens opening up in Aurangabad, in Bombay, in Panvel, and of course our big project, which is out in Bahrain, where we're opening 6 screens. All of those should open within this financial year. So we hope to touch a 50-screen target or 50-plus screen target by then. In terms of revenue expectations, I expect revenue expectations to be around about 50 crores for the business by the end of this financial year, and that would sort of be on an annualized basis. I'm taking into account a number of the screens that have opened in the year and not their full potential that they would have. So the business is growing very, very well. It's been an excellent year for exhibition in general across the sector, and we are definitely benefiting from that.
Okay. So if the exhibition business can do 50 crores in FY16, what will the overall revenues for the company look like, which includes your other businesses like Whistling Woods as well as the film business?
See, the film business won't have any releases this year. So whatever is going to accrue to the film business will come through whatever library deals that we have in place. And we've got some, but not a great deal of revenue coming in from the library. Other than that, Whistling Woods is about a 25 crore top line business. So, other than that, for this financial year, there won't be any significant income apart from whatever our rental deals that we have in place.
Right. So could you then take us through the financials of your Whistling Woods business as well? What has been the revenue so far? In fact, if you look at your annual report itself, this batch itself was the highest batch ever, 325 students admitted. So what is the revenue coming in from Whistling Woods and what are your costs?
So the revenue of Whistling Woods would be in the order of about 25 crores, is what the business would garner at this point. Yes, we took in our largest batch in July, but it's just the first 6 months of their 3-year tenure. So, I suppose the significance of that is going to play out over the next couple of years when we begin to see more such large batches come in and the number of students on campus go from what was 500 students in June to now 750 students. And I'd say in about 18 months that would go up to about 1,000 students here on campus. So the revenues will go up significantly. In terms of costs, we are a fairly intensive business in terms of the faculty that we have, the infrastructure that we have here on campus. But I'd say the costs are of the order of about 18 odd crores. So there is a fairly significant margin there in terms of revenue to costs.
Okay. So Rahul, you said exhibitions could do 50 crore of revenues. Whistling Woods could add another 25 crore, while film business will not give you any revenues at least this year. So that would roughly put your full year revenues at 75 crore, a good 25% less than what you did in FY15. Would that be the correct way to look at it?
No, that's not the correct way to look at it, because in addition to that, there are other revenues coming in. I mentioned from rental, we have a number of properties that, it's other income, so rentals and stuff like that. Plus there is money coming in from library and such sources. We'll definitely be far above, I'd say we'd be above our last year's revenue target, simply because of the increase in the revenue from Whistling Woods and the increase in the revenue from the cinemas business that would go from, I think it was of the order of about 30 odd crores last year, and now it's going to go up to almost 50. So we'll be above our last year revenue target.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rahul, for joining us and giving us all those details. Perhaps the investors liking what you're saying, because if you pull up the stock right now, the stock has surged about 10% in the last 5 odd minutes.